Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you here by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the chief of cereal, and the sigilite of FLG, and I'm Seth the Mad Dog, your competitive correspondent. Kicker, my friend, what have you been up to?
Oh, dude, man, it is good to be back. I drove straight home after Cherokee, like just straight home, nonstop, so I could go for a run with my son. It was so cool. I have this like, epic event, and then to get home and hang out with him, and then I've been basically nonstop. We had Mardi Gras here, but then I spent nonstop like testing out paint schemes. There we go. If you're watching if you're listening to our podcast, you should be watching our podcast. We live stream every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can see the beautiful hobby progress we have up there. Seth, can you tell what I did there? That is a kit bash conversion kind of thing. What do you think?
It looks like Eldar, and I don't like it. But it looks like a tree person holding a wraith cannon, so it's some sort of wraith construct.
It is a tree person holding a wraith cannon, and it is awesome. It is going to be one of my wraith guard, and I love it. It just looks so cool. It's one of the Age of Sigmar Sylvaneth characters, or dudes, hunters, I guess they're called. And I basically took the entire model, but just swapped out the weapons for Eldar weapons, and it's awesome. And then right next to it, Seth, you'll see the color scheme I'm working on. I really want this whole
You
army to be
always
really
go olive drab kind of military colors, don't you?
Yeah, but the reason for yes, because I have it down pat. Like I have my recipe down pat. But this was different. I know it doesn't look that different, but it's totally different. This was done extremely quickly with the idea to really get it done, get this army done like within a month and a half is kind of my goal. And the whole color scheme is really with the tree, of course, to go like all super uber nature themed. My son's name is Oak, and so I want this army to be dedicated to my son. So I'm trying to really go with like a tree, vibe, a lot of greens and stuff. But what have you been up to, Seth?
Recovering from Cherokee. We drove home,
Cherokee.
just spent the day kind of getting the house stuff done, and now I'm trying to figure out my gaming schedule because I don't really have any events planned for the future, so I got to figure that out. So I've been looking at that. My wife and I are also planning a cruise in June for Alaska. So I've been doing the last minute planning, or not last minute, but like locking in things like flights and hotels and all that jazz, which does mean I won't be at ACO this year.
Oh, but we were just talking about that though, right? There's certain events you have to give up because as much as we love the hobby, it's okay to go take a vacation with your wife, and go see something you've been wanting to see for 2 or 3 years now. Alaska.
Yeah. So, Kicker, take us into the industry news.
Yeah, totally. Hey, before we jump into the industry news, guys, this entire episode is really going to be a very interactive episode. Feel free to ask us questions throughout the chat. Seth and our wonderful tech priest Rich are going to be carefully monitoring it. Just wanted to throw that out there. We've got a few topics to touch base on, but jumping into the industry news, there's just not that much happening, so we want to involve the audience as much as you guys want to jump in. Let's go right here. Okay, so. Like I said, it's a bit of a slump right now. Not really that many new exciting things happening. The Eldar or Eldarari or whatever you want to call it, the combat
Eldari.
Eldari.
You're playing them.
Here I am starting an army. I have no idea. I'm just going to call him Eldar because it's way easier. Eldari. The Eldari Combat Patrol box has been formally announced. I mean, for all of you clever, gamers out there, I'm sure you already knew what the Combat Patrol box was. It's been leaked, and you could kind of see, have an idea what it was. But this Combat Patrol box looks like a legit deal. I mean, it's got 6 units of Wind Riders. Those are the jet bikes. Six models, which is 2 units of 3. Of those Wind Riders, the Wraith Lord, and some infantry and a character, but it looks like a legit set. A lot of times these box sets, you're like, that's not really the foundation of a real army, but this one seems to definitely be a solid base for any Eldari army, dude. And did you see the other big news regarding product releases from GW, Seth? I don't know if you saw this, man. Cursed City is coming back. Cursed City is relaunched. This is a huge deal, guys. If you remember was it a year ago, Seth? I can't remember. It was about a year ago, right?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, Cursed City was that boxed game that totally sold out. It was going for ridiculous prices online. You can still find a few individual models from that game online that people are selling for ridiculous amounts of money because they are just super sexy models that you could only get in this box set. They've slowly released a few of those models. I think there's 1 or 2 box sets out there for like the undead or the I don't know, the dead faction, the vampire faction, but in general, all the heroes, the good guys, you couldn't get. And I definitely bought that box set for the good guys just for the conversion potential. And I mean, like I used 2 of those models for my AdMech army, and they just look so cool. So anyway, it's really kind of cool that GW is relaunching this box set. They're giving people a shot, who to get it again. And I'm sure people will be taking up taking them up on that offer.
Oh
Seth,
yeah,
did you even?
there was some definite FOMO when that thing went out of
Yeah,
stock.
right. And it was a good value too, right? Like not only was it awesome models sold in obviously limited quantity, but like the value that was there. There was a lot of plastic in that one box. Seth, did you see those models in person? Had you seen that,
I
at a
have
store?
not.
Yeah, it was a very elusive. So if you didn't see them, go online right now, Google them, check out some of those models. And I can't take credit for this. This is not, not this is purely from the Spiky Bits crew. Rob, who runs Spiky Bits, posted a really cool photo of a brand new sneak peek of the Joy Toy Repulsor. So Joy Toy are those really, high end action figures that have
Mhm.
been, getting the license to make GW product. And there's this, they're like GI Joes, but Space Marine themed. And there's
That
a
thing's gotta
G.
be giant.
It's massive. So they have it's like a little sneak peek photo of it. I guess I don't know, a leaked photo of this. It's a repulsor like
Yeah.
that's the size of a cat or something. It's
Yeah,
massive,
it's
man.
gotta be huge because those toys are already, like, decent
Yeah, yeah.
size to begin with, like,
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Jesus.
size comparison, compared to a standard mini and
Yeah.
even like a knight, a 40K knight. But the Repulsor Executioner, it's going to require some real estate on your shelves to store. I mean, it's massive. But you know what? It's got me excited. I could care less about the little like action figures, but now I'm starting to see vehicles. Space Marine vehicles. Like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
And
So
Kicker's gonna go back to playing Space Marines
I'm not
next
going to
because
play Space Marines,
he
but I would.
jumps from army every time there's a new release,
No, I
guys.
don't.
He
No, I
just he
don't.
army
But
hops.
but I would play like I would play 40K if we could like scale it up to that size and you just play in this like a tennis court or something. I mean, that would be fun, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how practical that is. But okay.
Ah,
Just to see a big old you know what? I'm gonna get one for my son and just let him go to town with it. Just go crazy. Um Oh, and we were talking about products from GW. Let's talk about products for Frontline Gaming real fast. The Frontline Gaming table, yes, we're getting bombarded. People still want the table. We brought the table to Cherokee. It's sold out.
mhm.
I'm sorry, guys. We brought as many as we could in our truck. The truck was packed. We even like squeezed tables in between the pallets to try and bring every single one of those tables was picked up and sold. We will be bringing tables to BAO. We will be bringing to ACO. We do want to start allowing them to be shipped, but let's be frank, guys. The cost to ship them
They're
is not
heavy.
cheap. Yeah, yeah, they're heavy. Seth, you got a table, right?
Yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy. I mean, it's a solid injection molding plastic tabletop. Like it's not, nice
And
square seating.
it's not got, like, 1 or 2 metal brackets in it. It's got a lot. It's a solid piece. I'm not saying a 320-pound man should sit on it, but I'm saying if he did, it survived.
Well, I mean, and like, okay, so that weight is for a reason, right? To make it as
Mhm.
durable and sturdy as possible. But yeah, it's definitely not a lightweight item. And also the size of it is pretty massive. So shipping is
Yeah.
going to be about $50. So, we're trying to not have people have to pay for shipping. So we're going to try and bring them to our events. We should be selling them online soon. That's what I've been told. I can't give a date yet. I just know that we will definitely will be having them at BAO. So even if you're not playing at BAO, just swing by and grab a table so you can go home with a brand new toy. Speaking of BAO, let's pull up that wonderful artwork there. Yeah, boom. Look at that beautiful BAO artwork. Boom. Yeah, the BAO shirt is one of my favorite shirts with this logo.
Kicker, before we jump
Yo,
off, do you
shoot.
know what the dimension of the table is folded up? It's on the box, which went
Yes.
out in my trash
It's
today, so I don't know.
it's literally the exact. It is a 44 by 60
No,
inch.
no, folded up.
Oh, like the
I
width of
think it
it?
folds in half to, like, 44 by 30?
Yes, that is exactly what it does. Yeah, it folds
Okay,
that
cool.
way, not the other way.
Yep.
If that makes
I
sense.
was like, I think that's what it was, but I
Yeah.
can't check because I threw out the box.
Yeah, and the width of it is about I wanna say 4 inches, so it's about 2 inches of injection molded plastic on both sides, so when you
Okay,
fold them
yeah.
together, you get about 4 inches. Yeah, I mean, it's not a lightweight table, it's not flimsy, but yeah, that thickness is quality there. Okay, cool, let's, move on to BAO, guys. Um, you guys come and listen to signals because you want to know like the truth. Hear it straight out. Like no bullshit here, right? So the BAO is is held at KubbleCon. KubbleCon is its own independent convention that they host the 40K tournament there for us.
Mhm.
We're a part of them. The guy that runs KubbleCon, Mike, is an awesome guy. He's saved our butts for many years, and now we want to try and repay the favor and help him out. He's allowed us to host 40K at his convention, and now he's he asked me to read a statement. Let me just get to the statement real fast, guys. This is from Mike, the KubbleCon organizer. Guys, we're just over 12 weeks away from KubelCon 2022 and the Bay Area and the Bay Open 2022. We are seeing a big uptake in sales and looks like we're just around 200 players for 40K. Yes, guys, that is true. 40K is pretty massive. We actually might have to end the tickets soon because Age of Sigmar is catching up and we're going to fill up. But anyway, we're seeing
is
a
there
huge
a beef there between Age of Sigmar and 40K? Who
well,
gets more
dude, I mean,
space?
seriously, I think the Age of Sigmar players and the 40K players are gonna have to go to town and just see who wins this fight. Because honestly, just
Rumble!
rumble, dude. You saw the Age of Sigmar players at LVO, dude. They some of them look like beasts, man. I don't want to take them down. Okay, so we're seeing a big uptake in sales. However, like
We have a Mark Perry though. It's okay.
oh, we do have, and we got a Seth, man. We got a
Yeah.
Mark Perry. We got a Seth. You know, we got a Danny. We can take anyone today. We got this, man. Yeah, right. Are you? Come on, Danny's
Our
legit.
producer's laughing in the background, everyone.
That
He clearly is not confident in our abilities.
to fight, right? Yeah. Well, probably not. I do know that there's a lot of military in like active military, like
Yeah,
badasses that play Age of Sigmar. And yeah, let's just like Dayton. I don't know if you met Dayton. He was like our human forklift at LVO, just like
I did.
single-handedly unloading a truck. Yeah. But anyway, guys, so we're seeing a huge uptick in sales. Looks like we're gonna be at around 240K players, blah, 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 blah. That's all great. However, like everything else these days, revenue and cost are not aligned. KubelCon and BAO being off for 2 years affects conventions in a lot of ways not easily seen by the public. As such, we are asking for your help, the generous and fantastic community that is the Bay Area Gaming Group. As you know, KubelCon is being held both at the Marriott Waterfront near San Francisco Airport as well as a Hyatt. We need this space specifically to house what will be a huge 40K championship tournament, as well as the live action role playing events for KubelCon. This means in order to offer and sustain such a space allocation, we need to see all the rooms in our room block we need to sell all the rooms in our room block to fulfill our hotel contractual obligations and not be levied financial penalties for not doing so. You as an attendee can help. Even if you are local to the Bay Area and had planned to commute, we are asking for you to consider staying at the Marriott or the Hyatt, even for just a Friday or a Saturday night, to help reach our goal. Basically, guys, a lot of the way this whole thing works is that we can't get these beautiful spaces unless we kind of promise the hotel we're going to give them some rooms or fill up some rooms. I don't think everyone's always aware of that.
Yeah.
So while you can commute, if you're in the Bay Area, maybe you could just help KubelCon, continue to grow and grow and grow, so that we see, progress in 23 and 24, by just helping stay at the hotel for one night. The hotel's great, and that way you can stay out as late as you want and party with your buddies, or wake up early in the, wake up and roll right out of bed and go play some 40K.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's
get
a
a
way you
little
can.
reference,
Yeah,
like the Warzone Atlanta
yeah.
occurs in Atlanta, and all the guys that run it are from Atlanta, but
Mhm.
they all get a room in the hotel because when you're there until 8, 9, 10 at night, and they're just like, you know what, I don't want to drive home across town in the traffic. I just want to go to bed so I can get up and be here and do what I need to do tomorrow. So
Yeah, I mean, not only
there's
does it
definitely
help.
a nice convenience factor of staying in the venue.
Yeah, the convenience factor is huge, especially in a city like San Francisco or Atlanta, where the traffic is kind of insane.
Yeah.
But you're not only getting this little convenience factor, right, but you're also really helping the convention stay afloat. So
Yeah.
guys, please, if you can consider staying at the Bay Area Open hotels, it would be very much appreciated by both KubelCon and Frontline Gaming. All right,
All
Seth. Hey,
right.
why don't you take it away with what's happening in the FLGN?
Nothing.
Nothing,
No,
dude.
okay, wait.
Oh, come on. There's a few things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's plenty of stuff going on. So, Eldar lists were on Grim After Dark. They brought on JT McDowell, who, fun fact, used to be a professional wrestler.
No way.
Um, so that was fun because JT is a longtime Eldar player. So him and Danny riffed on some lists.
I listened to that episode. It has got to be a format they need to repeat. I really like that format.
Yeah.
It got me all excited. Like, listen to different types of lists. I mean, yes, obviously I'm biased because I'm trying to learn Eldar, but the idea of looking at 6 different lists throughout an episode, I thought that was really cool.
Yep. Someone was on Game Changers. You might have heard of him before, Kicker.
Yeah.
Reese Robbins. Do you know who he is?
I think I've seen that guy before
Yeah.
around, right?
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Chief Librarian put out another episode. Chapter Tactics just put out an episode today, comparing and contrasting 8th and 9th edition. The Thursday show is getting geared up. I believe they're going to be covering the Clutch City GT, which is actually where War Games live stream is going to be this weekend. So if
Okay,
you want to
sweet.
watch some 40K, check that out. Give Joe some support. We love him.
Everyone really liked the stream at Cherokee, and that was Joe. So,
Mhm.
if you like
Yeah.
that quality stream, Joe will be doing Clutch City
Can
this
I
week.
can I tell you a funny moment on the
Yeah.
stream, Kicker?
Shoot, Seth.
So the I provided like some sideline reporting and some commentary on the last day, and as I'm sitting there doing some commentary with Joe, and Joe doesn't do like 100% commentary, like he does let the players talk.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to jump in too much, but I am reading the chat as it's going by, and several times there are folks like, "Who's that commentating with Joe?" And Joe was like, "It's Seth from Signals, yada yada yada." And that's fine. And then someone was like, "Who's that commentating with Seth?"
Oh,
And I
no
was just like,
way. Dude, you're a superhero now.
I
You're
was like,
famous.
you came to the stream, but you don't know who the guy that runs the stream.
Seth, you're just becoming
Yeah,
famous,
so that
man.
was
Signals
entertaining
is
for
making
me.
you famous. Speaking
That's
of
right.
being famous, dude, I mean, I got kicks for kicker.
Yeah, there was
Hashtag
actually a question of how did you like your cereal gifts?
God, that was amazing. So I don't know where that started. Who started this kind of hashtag? Was it on here? Was it on Facebook? I have no idea. But somebody showed up at Cherokee. I believe his name was Jared, a wonderful human being, with a massive box of sugary breakfast cereal. That the cereal would be Kicks. Actually, it's not even that sugary,
Yeah,
but it is
Kix is
called.
not very sugary at
It's
all,
not. Yeah,
actually.
it's kid tested and mother approved. And yeah, so not that sugary, but it was extremely enjoyable. I had it this morning for breakfast. So thank you. I definitely encourage Kicks for Kicker at all events.
Yeah.
Cash for Kicker works too. I'm just saying, like
No, keep it for Kicks for Kicker.
Kicks for Kicker. All right,
Yeah.
fine.
I see you, Greg Gonzalez. I see what you're saying about first time Tau player. I'm on to you. Anyway,
Are you getting some hate on the chat because of
Greg was maybe casting shade on me playing Tau in the War Games live chat, and he has come over here to
uh,
the Signals chat to do the same thing.
oh
So,
wow, we got a guy following you from podcast show to
yep.
show. All right.
So let's talk about the results of the Cherokee
Yeah,
Open, and then let's
let's do
get
it.
into kind of how we thought the weekend went. So 40K results. Number one, best general, that was Jack Harpster. He ran Tau. It was Richard Siegler's Tau, so I don't know if the Tau just ran itself,
Yeah,
or
right.
if
Program to
if
win.
Jack
Yeah.
had any control there, or they were just autonomous little battle suits. Best painted, that was Jacob Thayer. He was a I want to say he finished in the top 5 this past season for Hobby Track.
Dude,
And then
gorgeous
Renaissance
stuff.
Man is a pillar of the community himself, Anthony Birdsong. So he ended up taking home Renaissance Man because he came in, I want to say it was like 5th or 6th.
He was running
In the
custodes, right?
competitive,
He was
yeah,
running
and
custodes.
his custodes were beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Let's pause it right there, Seth, because he won Best Renaissance Man, and there's a pretty large store credit value
Yep.
prize for that, right? And do you know what he did with it? He didn't accept it. He refused to accept it. He said, "Let's give it to that guy over there, a guy that kind of needed some help with his army and was just a really all around good sportsman." So I don't know you that well, Anthony. I've kind of just met you, but dude, you are a very generous human being.
He's a very he's a very stand-up guy for the community.
Yeah.
He a lot of his army he gets commission painted,
Yeah.
and he pays his artists like a good pay scale. He's not trying to cheap out on them. He's I think somewhat Joe kept calling him a patron of the arts
Patron.
because he was supporting
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these artists. So yeah, I mean he literally has like I believe, and Anthony, if I'm wrong, let me know, buddy. But I am 90% certain that the man has 3 squads of everything. He just buys 3 of everything when it comes out because he
Wow.
just wants to have it, and then he
Yeah.
gets a commission painted, and he has every army
Wow.
painted, Kicker. So
Wow,
he's just
that's
like, I want to
hashtag a
play this
dream.
today. Boom, goes it. Then he's got a cool store
Jeez.
up in Maryland called Tables and Towers that I'm trying to get up to and see sometime. So yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a
You
great man
you
for the
called him
community.
a patron of the arts, but he's also a
Mhm.
patron of the sportsman. Like, he chose what he thought was the best, most sportsmanship, like, man at the event, or gentleman
Yeah.
person at the event. He like literally is like, "Oh, I played my one of my last round opponents was just really a nice guy. Let's get him." And the guy came up to get his credit, and he thought he was gonna get like $30. He got a way more than that. He was
Yeah.
blown away. It was a little surprise for him. Yeah, okay, keep on going, Seth. Sorry about that.
Yep. Anyway, um, train of thought. AOS placings. We have AOS. So our first army that came in first place is David Fields. He was playing Andrew sent me all this information, so I'm trying to remember. It was a single drop like Dragon Army, which I think it is. Let me double check the chat notes because I don't want to
Yeah.
quote you guys
I'm
wrong
pretty sure the
about what.
Dragon armies are for Age of Sigmar right now are ridiculously
Yeah,
powerful. So
Andrew Simmons is our TO there, and he sent me like all the lists and everything. I'm not going to read you all the lists because I honestly
it
don't
was
know.
Joe Cryer and Andrew Simmons. I
Yeah.
got to give Joe a shout out. He came in from
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
it looks like it was a Stormcast army, and he says it was one drop list. And yeah, it does have the dragons, and it has a bunch of other Storm Guard or
We are
Stormcast dudes.
terrible Age of Sigmar.
We are. I'm trying. Age of Sigmar. I am trying, guys. I'm trying to give you some love tonight.
There was a dragon in it.
There was. Number 2 is Mergang Ja. He was running a Stormcast Eternals. He called it Andrew called it a shoot cast army.
All right.
I don't know what
I
that means,
assume
guys.
you're
Just let me
shooting
know.
and casting psychic powers.
Sure.
I don't
Yes.
know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Number 3 was John Anderson. He was running Idoneth Deepkin with a very mobile shooting castle.
Dude, this was another guy that came down and helped. Like,
Yeah.
Andrew Simmons kind of just popped out of the woodwork and was like, "Hey, I'm going to help you run this event," because we had a lot more, bigger turnout for Age of Sigmar than one guy could handle. And so he just showed up and helped. And then John, this guy showed up and just helped set up and break down. I mean, sorry, I'm
Nice.
getting goosebumps because there's a lot of
Yep.
community involvement at this event.
So best painted.
Yeah.
We did get pictures of the best painted
sweet.
armies because I hate to say this, Kicker, but AOS has better models than 40K.
I think the hobby
Yeah.
dedication is a little stronger.
So our number 1 was Casey Myers, and this is his
Oh,
Idoneth
wow.
Deepkin here. He had a nice little display set up.
Jeez.
Yeah, Idoneth Deepkin look amazing.
Yeah.
Number 2 was Tobias Kempe, and
Oh,
he had
wow, look at this
Nurgle. And I don't know how well it's showing up here in the picture, but that Great Unclean one has LED eyes, so he
It's
glows.
insane. It's insane.
And number 3 was Dylan Gerard with Luminef Realm Lords, or as our producer said, some elf thingies.
Some elf thingies. Some elf thingies look gorgeous. Jeez.
They do look gorgeous.
They have real painting chops in Age of Sigmar. Not that there's a few beautiful 40K armies, but like Age of Sigmar, geez, just wow. Did we get any photos of Legion or X-Wing? Because they had some.
No,
Okay.
I asked you for that stuff.
Okay, well, Legion had a few really beautiful painted armies. I did not get photos of them, but I will have to ask the TO. But yeah, right. I'm slacking right there.
Kicker took a day off, everyone. Let him have his day off, okay? It's all right.
I
can only do
wanted to
so
date a
much.
hobby. I'm sorry.
Yep. So, Kicker, the venue. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you kind of my
Let's
opinion
take
on
it.
it, but I'm interested in yours.
Okay.
So the venue, the tower we were in, where our rooms were in, was like, I want to say like less than a year old, very new
Yeah,
construction.
brand spanking. It is less than
The
a year old,
rooms
yeah.
were great. It was pretty convenient between our rooms and the event hall. But by that I mean, if you've been to other casino-based events, you usually have to like cross the casino floor to get from your room block to the convention space,
Which is not something you want to do if you have a tray full of delicate miniatures, right?
Yeah, because it can be crowded,
Yeah.
depending on the time of day. This was not like the building was still all contained. You could go to the casino and never step outside, but it was not in between you and the event. So that was nice and easy to get to. I believe if Richard, the producer, wants to put up, I took my wife with me. She enjoyed the spa, and then she also went out hiking one day. And these are some pictures she got on a hiking trail.
She took
like,
these photos?
Yeah, like 15 minutes away from the venue. So
Dude,
like,
is that like a deer or an elk?
that's
or
an elk.
something?
That's
What
elk.
the-
She ran into a couple dozen elk while she was hiking.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so there was a nature preserve nearby. There was a nice river, so she was hiking around the river. She took pictures of the elk. She went and explored all the little towns nearby. She was having a ball with that. We had some good meals. So overall, and then I don't know, Kicker, you might want to get into this more. I would say out of the events we've been to, this food in the hall was probably the best setup we had.
Yeah, no, totally. They worked really hard to make sure that we had a huge menu. So I mean, there was literally everything from popcorn to pizza to
like in the
burgers.
morning you had like, a half dozen different types of breakfast sandwiches and fruit and coffee. And then
all the snacks. I asked them to bring all the snacks so you could get whatever kind of like junk food you wanted or power bars, whatever.
They had junk food, they had sodas, they had waters, they had Gatorade, they had ibuprofen, they had Tums,
they even had earplugs.
They had pizza, they had nachos, they had pretzels, they had hot dogs, they had chicken tenders,
not only
they
was
had
the
burgers.
variety, you can keep going, but it was also like the quality. Like it was legitimately good food. I mean,
it was good food, and it wasn't like really overcosted. Like I got the last day, I really wanted a pizza. I like to get pizza when I go to events, okay? And I just wanted a whole pizza, and I could eat it and share with my friends. And what do you think a whole pepperoni pizza cost me at a casino? Richard, Richard, I want you
Go.
to chime in. What do you think a whole
Richard, Tech
pepperoni
Priest
pizza
Richard?
cost at a casino?
I have no idea what a pizza costs at a hotel.
Casino
You've
pizza
bought food
price.
at a casino before, right, Richard?
Yeah, it's a lot. Like it's a lot. Like I don't know, $25.
Art of War Down Under says 26. It was $16 after tax, folks.
Wow.
$16.
Yeah,
Full
that's
size
like
pizza.
did
with
it
go to
taste
like
like
Domino's.
Wait. Did
It was
taste,
good.
Did it taste
It
like
was
a
fresh. It was
$16
good.
pizza?
No, it was good. I was happy with it.
Okay, how much
Dude,
would
dude.
you pay for that pizza on the outer world?
Like $16. Like it
Okay,
was
okay.
not. It was priced for what it was.
Oh,
Leo, the other Frontline
Look,
Gaming
Nikki
full-time
D, don't
staffer-
tell me that's not on Stephen Box's list. All right, it was my last day.
It's
Yeah.
not a Stephen Box.
Yeah, that's
Stephen
not
Box
on the
is
list
our-
of things you're allowed to
Yeah.
eat.
So no, but it does satisfy the soul. All right. Leo's the other Frontline Gaming staffer, goes to every single one of the events with me. We go to all these events. It's literally our job. And
Yep.
Leo was floored. He's like, "This is the best food we've ever had at one of the conventions. Like better than what you pay at Las Vegas or Atlantic
Yeah.
City." So yeah.
And
we
it's
were really
right
happy
there
with
in the hall. Like you can be like, "Hey, buddy, you're doing your moon phase. I'm gonna go get some popcorn and some water." I literally one point turned around and my teammates standing behind me watching me eating a bucket of popcorn.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Good dog.
Okay.
Good dog.
Anyway,
So-
Kicker, what are your thoughts on the event and the venue?
Well, let's stick with food real fast because we're talking about food. So that was not by chance. That was us carefully working with the venue, saying, okay, this is what we need from you guys to make this the best event possible for our players. So that's why we had this awesome range, and the venue worked with us, which was awesome. But on the negative side, dude, there weren't that many restaurants that were easy to get into because the whole hotel was packed. Now this is a learning experience, right? Whenever we go to a new location like this or do a new venue, we have to learn the venue. The venue has to learn us. We need to figure out what works, what doesn't. One of those things is that the restaurants on site were just packed. I mean, you need to have reservations made a couple days in advance. And
it was definitely a tough time getting, because they had, while we were there was a World Series of Poker tournament,
yes,
and a Bret Michaels concert.
Yeah. So the entire hotel was totally sold out. So good news that next year they should be opening up 2 or 3 more restaurants, which will definitely alleviate things. Hopefully we won't book it during a World Series of Poker tournament and a Bret Michaels concert, but we never know. We do have some plans for next year that will remain secret. And yes, there will be a next year, as many people have asked. Yeah, right. Sounds like what is it? No, I don't want to share until we figured it out exactly and then announce it. But yes, next year I'm already working on a multi-year contract with the Cherokee venue because it was that big of a success. Seth, we're talking about negatives here. We got to make sure people realize this is a regional event. And Frontline Gaming, while we are known for things like LVO and ACO now, and some of the events are definitely more regional. They're designed for the people within driving distance. And Seth, explain to the people that this was not the easiest place.
If you were flying in, it was a little difficult because you could either fly into like Asheville or Atlanta. You could rent a car and drive there. Parking was free on site, which was nice. But you're still renting a car for that, a couple of days. I had some friends that actually Ubered up from Atlanta.
Ubered up? Wait, what? That's a 3-hour drive.
It's a long story.
You don't Uber 3 hours.
It's all right. I'm going to tell you the story, and I'm sorry, Vindicta crew, but you're a teachable moment, okay, guys?
Okay, teachable.
They had planned. They were flying into Atlanta Thursday night, and they had rented a car in advance. And then when they got to Atlanta, like at midnight, and went through the rental car line, there were no cars left.
Oh my gosh!
So they had no car to get from. And it's, you're talking, it's midnight in Atlanta. They got to get up to Cherokee. You got to be there and ready to play in 10 hours. So they ended up taking an Uber, which
That's insane. It's a
got them there.
It's a 3-hour drive through the mountains.
Yeah, it got them there. But then they didn't have means of transportation. There wasn't Ubers around there. So, we tried to figure out some ways for them to get back to Atlanta to get a flight out. And that was a whole situation because there really weren't any easily accessible shuttle services that we could find or Ubers, because then you have to pay, because there's no Ubers locally in that area, it looked like. So they were going to have to pay for an Uber to drive from like Atlanta to them, pick them up, and then drive them back, which is like
so let's use this as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Whenever you book an event, whether it's a Frontline Gaming event or another
Yeah.
third party, you got to think about the logistics of getting to the venue. I mean, Frontline Gaming were really good at the big events. You're close to an airport, but even with that said, ACO is not right next door to a major airport. You got the Atlantic City Airport, which is really small, which is 10 minutes away.
A lot of folks came through Philly, didn't they?
Yeah, Philly. And you got to think logistically, how do you get from the airport to the venue. I don't recommend renting a car because you're just going to have that car parked in the garage for the 3 days you're there.
Well, I would say it depends what you're doing. For instance, like my wife having her car, we drove her car up because we knew she wanted to explore the area.
Yeah.
And she had a great old time going out every day exploring the area. So like if you're going with your family and they want to go out and do other things while you're gaming, because I do know that there was a lot of people that did bring their family to this event, then yeah, do that. But if you're some gamers trying to do this on the cheap, yeah, maybe don't rent a car.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Shoot.
I couldn't listen to you the whole time. Who's Bret Michaels?
Oh yeah, I didn't know either, right, man? Everyone's like Bret Michaels concert. I'm like, I don't know who the hell this guy is.
He's don't worry, he's Poison.
Okay, give me a song. Give me a song. Someone sing a
sing for us, Seth. Sing for us, please. Go.
Every rose has its thorn.
Oh,
I'm not singing.
Sing it.
No.
Chat. Come on, chat.
No, we will get demonetized.
Okay.
I don't know if we will.
All right. Yeah. So logistics of getting from the airport to
yeah.
Thank you, Tech.
So that's something that maybe to look into if you're planning next year. If you're traveling and you're looking at flying, you got to try to figure out reliable transport in and out of the area.
But once again, with every single event you go to, that's really important.
Chat is the best, by the way, because they're trying to tell me who Bret Michaels is, and then he also did porn.
Oh, allegedly. Allegedly.
How do you know him from?
Oh my goodness!
That's what Greg said in chat. I'm just reading what he said. I don't know these things.
Oh boy. I sidetracked this like normal, so that's
that's okay. Totally, we appreciate
anyway.
it.
So that was probably one of the cons of this event was it's not easy to travel to if you're not driving regionally.
And we're talking about like lessons learned and stuff that we can hopefully apply to anyone that's a tournament goer, right? And this is, once again, not just for Frontline Gaming events, although Frontline Gaming probably is more guilty than others just because we're larger, is you got to pre-order anything you want from the event. The merch, whether it's the tables that we brought, but also the T-shirts, the objective markers. Everyone wanted the Cherokee dice. We had some gorgeous dice for this event, and you got to pre-order them. You just got to. There's no way. And I hate to turn people down and make them feel sad, and some people were really frustrated. But that's just the way we do it. And the reason, of course, is because I have to order all this stuff before we bring it up, and I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of extra inventory. So usually about a month before the event is when I start to close off all the ordering for anything. And so if you don't place your pre-order, you're probably not going to get something.
Yeah, because there were a lot of folks showing up asking, "Do you have any more T-shirts left? Do you have any more objective markers left?"
Yeah. Dude, every single T-shirt, not a single T-shirt went home with us, and I was really kind of pissy about that because both myself and Leo, we were kind of hoping that maybe there'll be one that we can get. Nope, not one for this event. No, not.
Here, did you not pre-order a T-shirt?
I did not pre-order a T-shirt, and look what happened. And this was the coolest. Like this was probably my favorite. I think it's my second favorite logo. I like the BAO logo, but the new Lone Star logo is going to be the best. But we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it next week. Okay,
so I don't think we're talking about it later today.
No. Not today. So we were talking about food earlier. Let's talk about this. I thought this was kind of cool. Was we did get to go to offsite and have dinner plans with friends, and I think that's one of the best things about these events is getting together with people you don't get to see that often, and all going and grabbing dinner. Yeah. But make sure it's organized in advance. Trying to do it last minute or like, hey, okay, we're just going to meet after the round 6 and go grab food. That's a mess. That's a disaster waiting to happen. You, Seth, we talked to Adam, we talked to Leo, we talked to Joe. We're like, okay, we're gonna go grab food offsite, and we did it, and it was probably one of the highlights of the entire event for me.
The food was not. We did not choose the greatest
we did
restaurant,
not choose,
but the company was fantastic.
Company was great. I got to meet your wife.
You made her try squid and told her it was going to taste like pasta.
Yeah, it did not taste like pasta.
It did not. It did not.
By the way, no. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we were getting squid.
She's never going to trust you again when it comes to food recommendations.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said, "Hey, squid tastes like pasta" ever before in my life.
Well, like if you put a lot of like seasoning and salt on it, and you close your eyes and you think, no, it did not work.
And to be clear, we did not go to a high end restaurant where they would have like good squid. We went to like a run of the mill place that did not have high quality squid. So there's 0% chance you're ever going to get that woman to try squid.
It was the only Asian restaurant in the entire Cherokee reservation. And yes, the squid, I will say, was pretty terrible. I'm pretty sure it was microwaved, and then it was bad. But that's okay. Whatever.
My point is, you have blown that, sir. That is never happening again now.
And, well, at least I got food. I'm pretty sure you didn't get food until we were getting our check.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
oh, poor guy.
Yeah. My food took about an hour to get sushi.
Yeah.
Although
But
I did hear from another group that was at that dinner, they had ordered food, eaten it, and they were like, "We would like to order more sushi." And the waiter was just like, "No, you're not allowed to order anymore because we're so busy."
get out.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, no,
Anyway.
but like you said, the company was great. So going to all these events, getting together. I mean, obviously you're playing 40K and having a good time.
Sorry,
But
the
just like,
chat is just like because squids are indigenous in North Carolina mountains.
yeah, it was Smoky
Squid in
Mountain, like
Appalachia.
clear water, lake squid or something.
Yeah, kicker.
Right there with trout. Oh yeah, no. I saw it on the menu. I had to go for it. Like I had
But
to.
why did you make her eat it?
No, because I think she was interested. She never had squid before, and I'm a very, I'm like, I want to share.
Yeah, you and Joe were like, "It's great. It's
Yeah.
just like pasta." And she was like, "Really? Doesn't taste like fish at all."
Kicker's a
I will
giver.
say-
He gave her the worst squid ever.
Yeah, but well, I will tell you that I had to like literally drown the squid in teriyaki sauce to enjoy it. So yeah, but okay, well, that was fun, and I think we need to get to
Yeah,
the
I got some
story.
stories to share.
The
Yeah,
story, yeah. I don't know if I should be sharing this in details because it is not the best light on us, but I think it's something that should be shared because it has a happy ending.
yeah,
Guys, Frontline Gaming, we're a small business. We work really hard, but I mean, there's and all of us work like crazy hours, and that terrain takes a lot. I mean, that is our lifeblood. That terrain for Cherokee had to come from Las Vegas, and if you know your maps, right, Las Vegas is pretty far away from Cherokee.
got
Yeah,
from
like, right, like
there
across the country, right? Yeah, right. You don't have to
to
cross
there.
one but two mountain ranges
Yeah,
and deserts and all sorts of crazy conditions. Well, Leo, our driver, and my associate working the events, the truck unfortunately broke down in the middle of the night, and that was about 3 hours out, and so we were like, oh, we are in deep dog doo doo. But Frankie, and his girlfriend in the middle of the night drove up to meet up with Leo, swap out trucks in the middle of the road, get all the terrain off of one truck to another truck. And Seth, you've seen this train. This is not a 3-person
Yeah.
job. This is like,
no, it's pallet and pallet jacks.
yeah, in 30-degree weather, freezing their asses off on the side of the road.
Apparently,
I
at
don't,
one point, Frankie said, "I think I just threw out my back and kept working."
yeah. I mean, like they are superheroes. I don't understand how they physically were able to move these pallets with Leo, Adrian, and Frankie, but they did it, and that's what's amazing. Is they just did it. And by the way, it's like I said, in the middle of the night, middle of nowhere, and they made it happen. Then so we're a little bit behind schedule, but we always cushion our transit times to make sure we have fallback plans. Well, Leo then began to drive, and he hit not one but 3 snowstorms that had him driving 5 miles an hour. I mean, so a trip that was supposed to take let's just call it 38 hours took like 58 hours, and
Yeah.
and he did make it. He did make it. We were supposed to show up at the night before setup. So on Wednesday night he was supposed to show up. He showed up Thursday at 2:30 p.m. and
Yep.
we had to rush. It was insane, and it's just way later than normal. But we made it happen, guys. We worked like crazy, and we were unpacking the pallets, and we realized that I think one of the pallets got left on the side of the highway, and we were down like 15 tables worth of terrain. So we are now.
Yeah, we were putting it all out, and I was like, I feel like I was looking at your map of the tables that were supposed to be 40K, and then looking at the tables that had like tubs on them, and I was just like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? I'm just a numbers guy. Leo, just come figure this out.
It's like there's a lot more tables, but there's not stuff to go on the table. Something is not right here, and we didn't have the luxury to not have terrain. The event was a pretty packed event. So literally that afternoon at like 4 p.m. after we realized, oh no, we're missing stuff, I called up a local community leader, Stephen Valley, and dude, like I just explained, hey man, we need terrain, and without questioning, he didn't need an explanation or nothing. He's like, I got you. How many tables do you need? And what kind of style do you want? I'm like, any style that you can bring by tomorrow, first thing in the morning. This guy got in his little, his little Versa, little sedan car, packed it with terrain, and he drove through the night. He showed up at 2 a.m. On site, showed up 2 a.m.
That's why he looked tired.
Yeah, right. 2 a.m.
on Friday morning.
And set up the table so that we could be good to go for 8 a.m. that morning. I mean, this guy is a saint. So, and I should probably explain, the setup normally, like I said, we set up. We take about 8 hours to set up. We had the meet and greet at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, and we had the setup done in like 3 hours.
Yeah, and do you know why, Seth? It's because we had like we put the call out for help, right? Like at this time, I'm like, we need help, and I reached out to quite a few people, and you know what? The response was insane. We had Brian, a local guy that's in the Army esports team, just like come up there and he's like, I got you, and he just would not stop working like a machine. We had Blair and another Brian actually that drove up from New Orleans. They drove up over, like overnight just to make sure we were good to go. Because when I knew the truck was running a little late, I was like, oh, we might be getting caught with time. I called them up. They came and saved our butts. And it wasn't just the setup too. Like on people could tell we were a little tired. It was a crazy event. And I asked a few of the guys up there if they could help me break down too. And guys, this community, it just gives me goosebumps. They make me get all like emotional and stuff.
Yeah.
The dedicated group that is the Hobby Goblins out of Jacksonville, Florida, they're the reason I got to get home on Monday and see my kid that night. Like those guys, after on Sunday, they could have gone home. Most people go home on Sunday. They stayed late. And, I think it was like a team of like 7, 8 guys. They just made sure every single box made it onto the truck. They did not leave until everything was on the truck. The pallets were all put away. And it was just like, they did it smiling the entire time. The Hobgoblins, like they were like literally giggling and having a good time and laughing while loading up the truck. And because of those guys, I got to go home on Monday and Leo got to start hitting the road and work his way back to Vegas. So guys, the community.
I heard he took a more southern route to avoid potential snowstorms.
Yes. Leo's like, no more snowstorms.
He was like, I'm taking I-10 the whole way.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't blame him at all. I mean, there's no pressure, right? Once you're going home, there's no more time commitment.
Yep.
But I think what makes Cherokee so special, I mean, besides the fact that we're on the Cherokee reservation, and yeah, we had like I think you saw the photos. You saw them. We had the Cherokee tribe come and bless our event, which was really cool. They did a warrior dance. There's a lot of things that makes Cherokee special, but I think what makes Cherokee the most special to me is that it's a regional event and that the community there, from literally the first announcement of Cherokee through all the way to putting the last box onto the truck, was just so involved and so excited, and that made it happen. So with that said, Seth, what's the next event that we're expanding to? We need to start figuring out, and I just hope to find a community as diehard and dedicated as what we had.
Well,
at Cherokee.
if you listen to chat,
shoot. Hawaii.
Yeah, Tamagotchi Express really thinks that you should do one in Hawaii.
I'm on board. I'd love to do an event in Hawaii. I don't know logistically how we can get the terrain there. It's the same reason we can't do an event in Canada, because crossing the border.
But he says you won't have to worry about snow.
Oh, there we go. We don't have to. Do we have to worry about like volcanoes and explosions and stuff or anything like that? Tsunamis. Well, chat, guys, we're gonna be putting a poll up. I want to get some more feedback. We're looking at adding 2, maybe 3 more events to our portfolio. We'll test them out 1 year, and if they're good, then we'll add them in. We're looking all across the country. We're looking for venues. If you're at Cherokee, we're looking for venues like Cherokee. If you're at Texas, if you're at Texas, we're looking for venues just like Texas. That was a kind of the ideal.
I think KR Quinn is going to have an aneurysm if I don't say Colorado and Denver, because he's been saying it for like weeks.
I know. And KR Quinn, thank you for joining us in the chat. KR, I will tell you that is something I've already put a few lines out. Cast. I've
feelers.
What do you say?
Feelers.
Yes, a few feelers. I've got a contractor. I've got a contractor too in the works, right? Yeah. But Denver's really expensive.
There's a place that you already poo-pooed, but it's called Canada, that I think you should have an event.
Canada.
Yeah.
That's good.
Are you a Canadian?
Yeah. I'm a Canadian. I think there should be an FLG event in downtown Toronto. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, come on, there has to be somebody doing a big event in Toronto though, right? There's
to be. Tons of big events in Toronto. Yeah.
Okay. Now. Well, we don't want to step on anyone's toes. That's no fun.
No.
That's no fun.
Just do it at a different time and you're not stepping on anyone's toes.
They're Canadian. They're too polite to tell you stepped on their toes.
Yeah. Get more events.
Okay, well, we're going to keep on hunting. If chat wants to throw in any ideas, please feel free to do so. We'll probably be putting a poll out on the community for that, as well as putting a poll regarding start times. We're trying to figure out when to start events. Should the event start earlier so you can get out of there earlier and go grab dinner, or should we start it later and just let you sleep in late? So look on the Frontline Gaming community post Facebook page.
I have to Google where the hell is this place.
Are you looking at Canada?
No, someone else posted something, and I'm like, I don't know where the hell this. Somewhere in New Hampshire, but
New Hampshire, dude! New Hampshire's badass.
Nashua,
dude. I got my MBA up in New England. That's Nashua. Nashua's
I don't know what it's near, Kicker.
It's near Boston. It's near Boston.
Okay.
So It's a bit
There's
of a. I mean,
supposedly okay. Now I'm zooming out on the map. I see Boston now. Okay,
yeah.
all
So it's
right.
about a 45-minute an hour drive from Boston. I guess you could get Canadian standard ticket.
Ganny NG says there's a very affordable hotel there with about 400 rooms. Used to
Oh,
book
okay.
corporate
I like
things
that.
there all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Danny,
the
do you know the name?
Radisson.
It's the Radisson?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Radisson's got a really good foothold in New England. When I was up there for school, I was really amazed by how many Radisson hotels there were. There was one in Manchester, New Hampshire. But anyway, yeah, the Nashville's a great town. That would be actually a lot of fun because you get that kind of small New England town vibe.
I've never been there,
You've never been there,
but
okay?
I'd like to.
You'd like to. Seth, I think we also need to talk briefly on the meta. I mean, things
Yeah,
are
we
pretty
have a whole
turbulent.
other section.
We have all. Let's go into the meta because things are super turbulent right now. I mean,
Yeah,
coming out of
so
Cherokee, the top 8 being basically Tau, Custodes, and 1 Nids. That's
yeah.
not pleasant.
No, and so the data out of this weekend, it's kind of grim. Tau and Custodes, if you remove their hardest matchup respectively is into each other. So if you remove Tau versus Custodes, those individual factions, removing those and their mirrors, are at a 72% win rate for Custodes and a 73 for Tau.
That is
Historically,
that's not good.
that is worse than unnerfed Iron Hands, and it is right at the level of unnerfed Drukhari. And we have 2 factions at that level right now, so that's really rough. In terms of the matchups between those two, Custodes used to be favored in that matchup, but after this weekend, Tau are now favored in that matchup with about a 60% win rate into the Tau versus Custodes. And so overall, this has depressed the win rates of all other factions by about 5%. So it's literally just pushed everyone else down. So that is certainly a concern. I'm a Tau player. I want my Tau to be good as a longtime Tau player. But
you gotta put that little
I really I see that, and yeah, that's not good. So there's definitely needs to be some tweaks on those armies.
I mean, Seth, will you play your Tau right now? Because any one of your opponents will be like, oh gosh, a Tau player. Like, gosh, like, do you even want to play Tau right now because of this kind of ridiculous, win rate?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't mind. Like,
winning is fun.
Winning is fun, yes, Kicker. But no, well, particularly if I'm going to run into a meta that is full of Crusher Stampedes and Custodes and Grey Knights, which are just really, really hard matchups right now with orcs. And so I'm just like, or I could just have guns.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so you touched on something really interesting there, Seth. Do you think that Crusher Stampedes are just going to disappear because of Tau? Yeah.
I think they have a really bad matchup into Tau, and I think with the new NID book on the horizon, I certainly think that their time is numbered. The Crusher Stampede, I think, as a rule set will exist.
Mhm.
Whether that list will still be viable with the new rules from the Codex, who knows?
Yeah. All right. Well, let me just ask another question then while we're at it. So we're kind of stagnant. We're dependent on the powers that be to hopefully update some rules here. But with that said, we also know that Eldari are coming out. Do you think that's going to be enough to change things up? I mean,
Harlequins are looking really, really strong.
Really? Because I'm not. I don't feel they're going to have a chance against Tau. I mean, maybe against Custodes, but against Tau,
Harlequins have enough tricks to make them kind of on par with good combat Drukhari back when it was a thing. So I think there's definitely, I know a lot of top players that are looking at Harlequins. Craft Worlds is strong. It's not going to be as easy for a newer player or a less skilled player to jump onto like Custodes or Tau is. And I know I just insulted myself there, folks. I did it for you. Chat.
Thank you.
But you put that book in the hands of someone like Sean Naden, and I got no worries that Sean is going to find some way to beat the crap out of all of us with it. So I'm not concerned for the Craftwell players. They will find a way. Will it be enough to suppress Tau and Custodes? I don't know.
Word on the street, Mr. Brad Chester will be playing Eldari as well.
Really? Mr. Brad Chester playing Eldari. Do we have any idea what he's leaning into?
No idea.
No idea.
No.
Who'd he steal the models from?
I gotta go wash my hair.
Well, you have hair under that hood?
Robots don't have hair. No, Seth, I think that I think Eldar coming out can hopefully make things shift a little bit, but ultimately there's gonna have to be some FAQs or something here.
Art of War Down Under wants to play mono scions. Quit being a snowflake.
Hey, I
Mono
mean, I'm for it.
Scions.
I would support that. I would support that 100%. I mean, come on, Scions all the way. Unfortunately, though,
What do
guard
they have
codex,
besides their weird trucks and some dudes?
the weird trucks are pretty terrible, but the dudes are pretty awesome. I have faith. I have hope. I strongly believe the guard codex will be, meta changing when it drops, but that's not going to be for a little while. So,
He can't say anything because of the NDA, folks.
oh yeah, sorry. Let's move on.
Let's get
Seth,
to the ITC recap. And Kicker, I'd like to
yes.
say that you were concerned about us not having enough to cover tonight, and we've been on the air for 53 minutes.
Sorry, folks. Seth, take us away.
40K competitive track. So we do have some new rankings here. Now that the I wanted to say an abbreviation, but there's really no abbreviation for Cherokee. Now that Cherokee Open is in.
Okay, wait, real fast. We got to figure this out now, Seth. Do we call it the CO, the Cherokee Open, just Cherokee? What is the cool kids term?
I'm just going with Cherokee Open
Just
because I can't think of a way to abbreviate it.
All right, cool. All right.
But anyway, number 1 is Quentin Johnson. He came in second at the event. Number 2, James Marsden. Number 3, Ryan Snyder. He made top 8. Number 4, Jack West. And number 5, Josh McMillan. And hopping down to the hobby track, number 1 there is also Quentin Johnson.
Nice.
Number 2, Eric Mullins. Number 3, Nathaniel Williams. Number 4, Jamie Perozolo. And number 5, Christopher Johnson.
Yeah,
moving over to
kudos to
AOS.
Quentin, man. He has been pushing. Like Quentin, he worked really hard last season to try and raise to the ranks, and now to see him number 1. I know it's early in the season, but come on, this guy.
Yeah,
he deserves
his dues. And he has nice pink hair, which I believe I officially got him on stream saying that he would dye it to Art of War blue since he lost to Jack Harvester.
Oh wow, jeez.
So we'll see if he does it. Anyway, AOS competitive track, number 1, Alex Gonzalez. Number 2, Matt Nguyen. Number 3, Aaron Newbaum. Number 4, Matt Raboshi. I'm not sure about that one, Matt. Well, I can't see it because it's fuzzy on my screen, Richard.
Might have a new number 1, guys.
And I'm reading my notes anyway. Number 5, Randall Brasher. I can't read the screen because the screen is blurry on my screen. Hobby track. Maybe this has changed. Maybe it hasn't.
Right. He got number 1. We gotta say his name.
Who is it? I can't read it.
This is okay. Our tech priest is going to come in. Who is number 1?
Goon. Goon. G-U-A-N. He's number 1. Alexander's number 2. Matt's number 3. John's number 4. Aaron Newborn is number 5.
There we go.
Do you want to read the competitive track? Has that changed too?
I'm just helping you out.
The
guy got first
Thank
place.
you.
You got to tell him.
I can't read it. All right, hobby track. Number 1, Russ Tanner. Number 2, Rob Carr. Number 3,
yeah, I have no idea.
Bladed Duel.
I mean, is that a real name?
I don't know. Number 4, Eddie Andrews, and number 5, William Froel.
By the way, if your name is Bladed Duel, I apologize. That is an awesome name.
So, Kicker, we did get a few questions in chat.
Shoot. Go for it.
What was there to recover from Cherokee? That was one of the first questions.
For me, it's literally the event was, once we got everything set up, the event was extremely smooth, which is beautiful. I did drive, I drove Adam to the airport from Atlanta, and I drove straight home. I didn't even go to I pulled over to fill up with gas and pee while the car was filling up with gas. So I drove straight home, basically 12 hours. That was what I was recovering from the past 2 days. Also, we had Mardi Gras yesterday, so yeah, fill in the blanks. What about you, Seth? Did you have anything to recover from?
I wasn't physically sore and tired. My legs and my back felt fine. Thank you, Tao. Less moving of models. Less
How many models did you have on the table? A lot less than you're used to, right?
I can't remember the number of models, but I remember counting the wounds for no prisoners, and it was 113.
All right, cool.
But I definitely was I never sleep well in hotels, so I was going to bed and waking up a few times, and then waking up every morning at probably 5. Not trying to wake up, just waking up and being well, crap, I'm awake. So didn't get a ton of sleep.
How are your feet? Because you see, I don't think we had to walk that much.
Yeah, my feet were fine. I did have to take a power nap between rounds 2 and 3 in the final day,
and
on the floor next to the stream station.
The floor was legitimately the softest floor we ever had at a convention. It was cushioned. I don't know if that was.
I was able to take a nap on it.
Yeah, it was a really soft floor, and I mean, I'm just saying this because we stand on the floor all day long.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice.
I laid down. I grabbed one of my teammates' jackets and I made a pillow out of it and just went to sleep next to the stream table.
Need a photo of this.
I'm so jelly.
Anyway, and what do you think the best restaurant was at the Cherokee?
I mean, Seth, you got to explore far more than I did because I got
the one I enjoyed the most. I really mostly ate only at two places because there was only two places that would seat most nights without a reservation, and that was the Wicked Weed Pub, and there was actually like a bowling alley with like a sports bar in the back of it. And it was we waited the bowling alley a couple times. It was good, but I think the Wicked Weed the pub was better.
Do you think the pizza
Adam
was the best?
Hmm?
The best meal was the pizza, though. It had to be. Look at your face.
I mean, the pizza was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie.
$16.
Yeah, but my wife got a pork chop and I got a nice burger and she got some fancy ale. I believe there was also a question earlier. Yeah, I'm going to have a vlog that'll go up on Friday. You guys can watch that and you can see all the nonsense we get up to there, including a video of my wife trying squid that tastes like pasta.
Oh, no.
And Kicker cackling in the background.
You videoed that? Oh, no.
Oh, I did. Because I was like, this is going bad. Let me get my camera.
Oh my gosh.
What other questions we have? And throw your questions in chat if you want.
If you got anything in the chat, throw them up there. Like my wife did that squid.
So someone's asking me about the box of kicks. Yes, I have the kicks. Very much well received. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
I did have to tell my wife that somebody actually showed up and kind of bombarded me with a massive box of kicks, and she's like, "You don't even like that cereal," but now I do. Like
now you have to.
Now
we have a criticism. Right. Apparently, the beds were too soft, which is
too soft.
Really? Oh wow! Now you're being complicated.
I know. Like this is amazing, but you know what? The beds were too soft. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just talk about these rooms. For starters, these were the best rooms we've ever
They had a double shower head, like it had like the regular one and a rainfall, and you could do both at the same time.
Yeah, it was by far the best room, and they had like all the outlets. Like that's always my pet peeve is like I want to be able to plug my phone in right by my bed.
And they had like smart TVs, and the remotes were sanitized in bags.
Yeah, like, dude, that was so weird. Okay, so for those that weren't there, you got your remote in a vacuum sealed bag, which was just weird. Like it was anyway. Cool. No, I mean
we did get two questions, both from I believe Adam down from Art of War Down Under. Kicker, what is your dream event to run if money and location were not an issue?
Ooh, okay. If money and location were not an issue, I have to say Tokyo. Something in Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, like rooftop battle on Tokyo, one of the high rises there. Let's do it.
What is the Tau fix? I think there's some obvious ones like points? Take ethereals away from Farsight Allied Worlds. That's not meant to be a thing.
But it's not it's not a point fix, right? Like it's more.
I think you could certainly scale points up a bit on like crisis suits. They have the Codex has a very interesting way of if you take multiple of the same type of weapon on a suit, the price per weapon scales up. They could definitely adjust that, I think, and make those a little bit more costly. Yeah. Target locks should not be 0 points. Just having a free piece of war gear that says ignore cover.
Well, all the support systems are free, right? So
no, they're not all free.
Well, like other than the shield generator.
The shield is 5 points, and that's
which is really good, actually. Yeah.
So like just a lot of those things, just you maybe don't have to necessarily increase the base cost of the unit, but if you increase the cost of the war gear, I think you could see a lot of improvement there.
Hey,
drones, 12.2 wound, toughness 4 pinball and shield drones is criminal.
Yeah.
Because your opponent's like, I'm going to shoot my army at your suit. And I'm like, you killed 5 drones. Good job. That's 60 points. Now my 300-point unit was going to shoot back at you. So I think they got to up the price on drones.
Though, right? That's been like the Tau thing.
Yeah, but I mean that you just got to up the points on them. That's just. I'm sorry, they have to be more expensive. That's all there is to it. You can start taking the core keyword away from some things like broadsides. I really don't think that's going to decrease their efficiency that much. I think bodyguard rule is kind of vague and abusable. They don't need the bodyguard rule. Having shooting characters that are bodyguarded is just I think it's bad game design, because if it's a combat character, you're like, yeah, he's bodyguarded, so you can't shoot him until he gets into combat, then you can deal with him. But like having characters that are like, I have 37 shots and you can't do anything about it and you can't shoot me, you're just like, that felt good.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, speaking about Tau, actually I got a message through Facebook earlier today, and this brings up a good topic. This guy is a very passionate crew player, and he was asking me if we could make, if the ITC could formally make Kroot a faction and have a best in faction Kroot. Seth, what do you think the answer is? I mean, I already have the answer, but what do you think the answer is?
I I like Kroot. I think they're part of the army, and I think they're just that part of the army. Like in my mind, they're part of the army. Yes, they're a cool portion of it, but that would be like having a Best and Gretchen.
Yeah, so it doesn't just this is not just for Kroot. This is kind of our blanket rule of thumb whenever it comes to determining if a faction is going to be worthy of becoming a best in faction, nominee or whatever. No, if there's no distinct codex, then there's no distinct faction. Yes, you can be part of a book, but generally the Kroot would have to have their own codex, their own supplement at the bare minimum to even be considered to be their own faction. Right. So I am sorry. I know the person that messaged me was extremely passionate about Kroot, but sadly, at least for now, they will not be a faction.
For Kroot.
Yeah,
right. Let's wrap this one up, Kicker, because again, you thought it was going to be a short show.
Yeah, right.
Note, people, if Kicker says this one's going to be a short show, it's at least an hour. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
All right. So, final thoughts for the night, Richard, Kicker.
No thoughts whatsoever.
Everyone
none.
Be safe,
Blank.
man.
All right.
Thanks,
well,
guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night, guys.